Okay, everybody, Vegas is 1 week closer, and my eye is looking better. Stick around to the end of the show. You get to see it, and the show starts now. Okay, back up and running. Going to be an interesting show today. Well, I'm going to call it an interesting show. Hopefully you will find it interesting as well. The news segment's going to be a little compacted today. PJ's slot will probably be longer than mine. But we're going to do kind of an extended Vegas tip or trick. And once again, I have to credit Eric, Ace of Vegas, for an idea about a good Vegas tip or trick. And we're going to talk about that later in the show. Not as later in the show as it is sometimes. Thanks to all of you who expressed your concern about my injury last week. Appreciate it. I am doing fine. Also appreciate had great response to last week's show. Had a lot of people checking out my Walkabout Talk About Vegas video on Wednesday, and I do appreciate that as well. I was initially thinking about doing a live stream this Wednesday. It will not be this Wednesday. It will either be the following Wednesday, the 10th, or possibly I'll postpone it all the way to the 17th, and we can do it as kind of a Vegas preview show, since I'll be going out from the 21st through the 26th. Otherwise, so we'll do another kind of hopefully fun Wednesday show. We're trying to kind of mess around with that and just do some interesting, fun things we haven't done before. So we'll do that again this Wednesday. And there you go. Hopefully you'll tune in for that. Not a lot of Vegas news this week, and that's why the initial sort of short part, first part of the show, there's a few things that I thought I would share. Vegas had snow this week. That doesn't happen very often, and obviously up in the mountains and some of the hinterlands nearby, they had a significant amount of snow, but it was definitely a chilly winter week in Las Vegas. Also some rain today, I believe, so, or yesterday, I should say. But yeah, kind of a crazy week in Vegas. We also saw some interesting statistics released this week from McCarran that showed that basically visitation to Las Vegas, or at least travel through the airport, was down to about 55-56% of what it was the year before. And I was actually surprised it was not a more significant drop than that. Of course, you know, not everybody that's going through the airport is spending a lot of time in Las Vegas, but it was the worst visitation numbers since basically 1990, so 30 years ago. But hopefully that will rebound this year. It's hard to say if that part of that rebound will involve foreign travelers. There continues to just be, on a daily basis, it seems like, more fiddling around with travel restrictions. And certainly it seems the intention is to make sure that people don't travel. Talk about my thoughts on that as well. So we will see. I know we have many Canadian and British viewers who are just chomping at the bit to get back to Las Vegas, and hopefully they will soon, but there's definitely a lot going on. It seems like the latest plan seems to involve testing and quarantines, but again, the purpose would seem very clearly to try to discourage travel to Las Vegas. And if you're traveling to Las Vegas and planning to visit some underground cockfighting sites, you may be out of luck. Today's sort of interesting news story was that Las Vegas police, I guess, released, saved over 300 roosters that had involved in what they called rooster fighting, but we know that's cockfighting. I apparently don't like to use that word anymore. It is surprising that something like this was sort of going on underground. You hear about sort of underground illegal activities, but if you're me, I never find out anything about them. It's quite astonishing. And of course, it's a terrible thing. I mean, they basically have these roosters kill each other for sport. So, but anyway, I thought that was an interesting news story. One other thing that I wanted to share in the news portion of the broadcast today, there's been kind of a loophole, I will call it, in booking on, particularly on the MLive site, and basically on the MLive site. As I'm sure most of you know who are regular viewers of the program, the Mirage and Mandalay Bay are closed midweek, and Park MGM is closed, indefinitely. We don't know. People have reported being able to book those sites, and I can confirm that many of those hotels were listed as being available. And from what I understand, most people who booked at the Mirage ended up getting essentially upgraded to Bellagio. Most of the folks who had booked at Mandalay Bay ended up getting upgraded to Delano, and I would imagine people booking Park MGM were getting updated to Nomad or upgraded to Nomad. So I was like, I'm going to maybe play around with this thing. Maybe I'll try to book Park MGM and see if they'll put me in Nomad, which is a little bit of an upgrade. Well, it appears that that loophole is somewhat closed. When I looked at it last night and was trying to potentially book an offer from MLive, it did, when I tried to book midweek, which is when I'm going, it did show that that offer was not available at those 3 properties. Now, I did double check, and when I went out 3 months, it would again allow me to book those properties. So apparently there's no immediate plans to reopen those properties or reopen them during the middle of the week, but they're still sort of holding out hope, perhaps 90 days out, that might happen. I also checked the Caesars website. They had no such restrictions, even though Planet Hollywood and Link are closed midweek. I was able to, I didn't actually book, but I was able to go ahead and see availability at those properties. So it's my understanding most of the Planet Hollywood people have probably been getting moved to Paris or Bally's. The Link people probably to Flamingo or Harrah's. Not that big a difference there. So last week we gave our good friend PJ the week off. We appreciate Vino 60-Second Cocktails for filling in, but PJ's back this week, and from the looks of it, this is a really tasty cocktail. And somehow I'm interactively involved in this particular segment. So let's send it over to PJ. I'm sure he's got something interesting to say. PJ?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Cocktail of the Week with your host and not a professional bartender, PJ. Let's watch and see what fabulous cocktail PJ is whipping up for us today.
Hey John, thanks for another fabulous introduction to Cocktail of the Week. Hey, it's good to be back. I definitely enjoyed my week off. Thanks for giving that to me. And thank you, Vino of 60-Second Cocktails, for filling in while I was gone. You know, buddy, we got a regular spot for you if you like. You just let John know, and we'll take care of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, PJ's Cocktails here, bringing you another fabulous cocktail for Cocktail of the Week. John, how you doing?
Doing good, PJ. Thanks for asking.
That spot on your eye is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So, ladies and gentlemen, this week's cocktail was recommended by Vegas Best Ideas. You know them as Tamara and Gord. They sent me a recipe they'd like for me to make. And we're going to do that for you guys today. And you may see it at Rocktober 2021. Today's drink is called a pineapple screwdriver. You've heard of the screwdriver vodka and orange juice? Well, the pineapple screwdriver has pineapple, vodka, and orange juice. So we're going to put those 3 ingredients into a shaker. We're going to shake that up. We're going to pour in a glass. And we're going to put it right back in this belly where it belongs. Now, a lot of these drinks can be stirred. They don't need to be shaken. And usually if you get a screwdriver or a pineapple screwdriver or something, bartenders are probably going to stir it and not shake it up. But I like my drinks stirred so I get a good, the ice shakes it up, makes the drink nice and chilled. So that's why we do that. So without any further ado, let's start making this cocktail, shall we? First thing we need is my shaker. Next thing we need is some ice in that shaker. Let's do that. And yes, I still got these lovely square ice cubes. Also, while we're here, let's get some in the glass and start getting my glass chilled. And a good measure. All right, so first thing we're going to do is 2 ounces of vodka. Whatever your favorite vodka is. We're using Smirnoff's, which we're just about out of. Next is 3 ounces of pineapple juice. That's 2 ounces. 2 ounces of orange juice. And since I don't have a 3-ounce shot glass, I just mixed my orange juice and my pineapple juice, 1 ounce each. So we'll do that for that. Alrighty, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you shake up your pineapple juice before pouring. You want to get all that pulp mixed up. I've not received my new shaker yet, but this one's going to work just fine, I am sure. So are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Let's start a shaking. You know, you're probably wondering what I did on my week off. In cocktails of the week. And all I did was Uber got. Can I plug my Uber channel, John? Oh, good frost. Good frost. Alrighty. Now, ladies and gentlemen. The moment some of you have been waiting for. Little housekeeping here. The new shaker I'm supposed to be getting. Once I do, I will do a little video on it for you guys. Prevents all this. All right. Yes. That is a fruity cocktail. Ooh, that is almost perfect. We got a little bit left in there. We'll save that. All right, next thing we want to do is we want to garnish that with an orange. Pop that in there just like so. Oh, that looks lovely. That looks lovely. All righty. So, ladies and gentlemen, cheers to you. John, cheers to you, sir.
Cheers to you, buddy.
Now, let's taste this puppy. Ooh. Oh, that is a good ratio of juice to vodka. Basically, 6 ounces of juice, 2 ounces of vodka. Not too overpowering. You can taste it all. You can taste the pineapple juice, you can taste the orange juice, you can taste the vodka, and you can smell this delicious sun-kissed orange. Ladies and gentlemen, all I have to say to you now is, please drink responsibly. Nope, I take that back. Guy, you take a week off, you forget your order. First thing you want to do is give a thumbs up. Boom, boom, thumbs up. Next thing you want to do, write a comment down below. Ladies and gentlemen, let everybody know what you think of the show, what you think of the drink, and you want Vino to come back. Not to take my spot, but just to pop in every once in a while. And please, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there. We're trying to get John to, that's right, 10,000 subscribers. I thought for sure we'd be to 2,000 by now. What's going on, people? Come on. Tell all your friends. This is good content. Good content. Especially all you on the Facebook channel out there. We got 16,000 people. You mean to tell me we can't get a couple thousand of you to subscribe to this fantastic channel? Come on. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, now, please, drink responsibly. Be safe out there. I think that's all I got. John, back to you, sir. Man, I take a week off. I'm just out of sync. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking this guy with me. Once again, cheers to Gordon Tamara for this idea. The pineapple screwdriver, vodka, pineapple juice, and orange juice. Cheers again, everybody. We're out of here.
Thank you for watching Vegas Weekly and Cocktails of the Week. Stay tuned for another fabulous cocktail coming up soon.
All right, thanks again, PJ, for that excellent segment. That looks like a really tasty drink. I like all three of those ingredients separately. I think if I put them together, it would be nice. The pineapple juice should kind of offset a little bit of the sweetness of the orange juice that can kind of make a regular screwdriver a bit too much once in a while. Also wanted to mention that PJ has a Teespring store right now where you can buy some of his merchandise. He's kind enough to actually include a couple pieces of Vegas tips and tricks merchandise. You can purchase a mask, very helpful nowadays, or a t-shirt featuring the logo that PJ himself designed, quite a while back. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to it in the show notes below, or down here. That's where the show notes are. So check that out if you are interested. Today's Vegas Tips or Tricks segment is going to be about itineraries. And again, it was suggested by Ace of Vegas. He said, why don't you talk about a good Vegas itinerary? You know, a sort of list of things to do, places to go, the best way to approach your trip to Vegas. And I would say that this applies mostly to people who haven't been to Vegas or haven't been to Vegas in some time or feel like they've missed something on their trips to Las Vegas. There are 3 R's that I will lead off this segment with. First is do some research. There is so much information out there, whether it be travel books or magazines. Obviously, there's tons of information online. There's tons of videos on YouTube, far beyond what I've done. It should give you an idea about what you're interested in, where to go, what to do, what are must-sees or must-dos for you. And also make sure that you're checking out right now, certainly, whether or not certain restaurants or bars or shows are open if those are important to you. And in the case of all of those things, make sure that you're making reservations in advance for anything that is critical to your trip. Secondly, be realistic. There's only so much you can do within a certain time frame. That's why we're going to break down the ideal trip into 3 days. We'll talk about that in just a minute. The second one is relax. And this goes back to last week's show. You're on vacation. Sure, you're there to see things, but you shouldn't feel like you're rushing around from one place to another, that you have to wake up early, stay up late. It's your break time. Use it the way you want, and again, don't overplan and don't stress yourself out trying to do everything. If you can't get everything in and you feel bad about it, that just means you're probably going to be coming back to Vegas, which is what we're hoping you will do. I would recommend that anyone coming to Vegas who fits into those earlier categories stay somewhere towards the middle of the strip, and you'll see why as we talk about the rest of the itinerary. I would basically classify the center part of the strip anywhere from around, say, the Mirage, Harrah's, down to, say, Planet Hollywood, Cosmopolitan. That to me is center strip. Secondly, I would encourage people to spend 4 nights in Las Vegas because that gives you 3 full days. Yes, technically, if you stay there 3 nights, you have 4 days, but you're going to miss part of the first day and the part of the last day traveling. How much depends on you, when you plan to arrive, and so forth, but I find travel days to be kind of stressful, and I don't have a lot of expectations in terms of, doing a lot of things outside of my own hotel. The first night that I arrive, even though maybe you'll arrive in the afternoon or earlier than that, but I would spend my first day in and around my hotel, get the lay of the land, see what you think of the property you're staying at. You may, you're probably not going to spend a ton of time in the room because there's so much you're going to want to do and so many things you're going to want to check out. But whether or not you want to spend a lot of time in your particular hotel may have to do with, various amenities, restaurants, a pool at certain times of the year. And so spend some time definitely in and around your property and kind of get a feel for it. You may discover you really like it there, in which case, hey, you're going to want to adjust your schedule so you're coming back maybe a little earlier in the evening and enjoying the property. Then, have a few drinks, maybe have a meal, and you're not trying to rush around going someplace. You may also discover that, well, the hotel itself is okay, it's fine, it's a place to sleep and shower. You're really not that fond of it, and so it's a good opportunity to do that. The only other thing I would do on a first day is maybe check out some of the neighboring properties. And if you're staying towards the north end of the list of hotels that I mentioned, someplace like the Mirage or Harrah's, I would explore a little bit down to the south. Maybe if you're at Mirage, you're going to check out Caesar's Palace, some of the Caesar's properties on the other side of the road. Same thing with Harrah's. On the other hand, if you're down at a place like Cosmo or Planet Hollywood, you might want to explore a little bit to the north, maybe out to Bally's, Cromwell, Bellagio, those sorts of places. And when we get to day 1, 2, and 3, you'll understand why. So, and again, you're going to spend a little bit of time in those places. Maybe you're going to find out you do or don't want to come back to those places. And again, they're going to be near your hotel. So it's a good way to kind of find out what your comfort zone is. And different people are going to have very different experiences. Day 1, you can pick north or south, but you're going to explore the Strip. So if you choose to go north, you're going to, I say, you go explore all the way out to the Stratosphere. I would typically walk it both ways and take your time and take in whatever experiences you want. If you're planning to do the North Strip, then again, you're going to want to probably try to get some sort of restaurant reservation there that's going to work because of the times we live in. Same thing if you went south. And again, you're going to kind of go and just do what catches your eye. You're going to walk through the hotels, you're going to check things out, and if something seems interesting to you, maybe you're going to spend a little bit of time there, whether it's a bar or a show or whatever it might be, or you just like the casino. There's not as much to the north end of the Strip, particularly if you're staying someplace out at the Mirage or Harrah's, but there's still a decent amount to see there. Again, I recommend working your way up north, walking up one way and walking back the other way. You can always take little detours along the way. You could check out Westgate if that's interesting to you. It's not the most pedestrian accessible place, but maybe you want to see the Elvis statue. And then again, you're going to just sort of slowly work your way down the other way. And again, ideally, again, you kind of go with the flow, but you're probably going to get back into the area where your hotel is by late afternoon, early evening. So there you go. Guess what? Day 2, you're going to go in the other direction. You're going to explore to the south of your property. And the reason I suggested on the first night that you kind of explore those close-in places is because, again, depending upon which end of the Center Strip you stay at, you're going to have significantly more hotels to check out going one way than going the other. Again, you're going to keep in mind, restaurant reservations, things like that. If that's important to you, you should still be able to grab food out of a food court, but in order to have a sit-down experience, again, do some research, check it out, and plan ahead, at least in this case. So your final day in Las Vegas is going to be 2 things. It's going to be your opportunity to kind of revisit some places that were exciting or interesting to you and where you really enjoyed staying or playing. And you're going to want to go downtown. And typically I would suggest going town sort of late afternoon, early evening as the sun goes down. That's when sort of things heat up there. Obviously the newest, biggest sort of greatest resort in Las Vegas, Circa, just opened up there. So that's definitely something to see. And there's been a lot of revitalization downtown. Obviously, if you want to go earlier in the day, you can. There's a lot of different things to do. There are microbreweries. There are a lot of little bars and restaurants. Again, keep in mind, you may need reservations. Checking out the Fremont East area, a lot of good things to do downtown. So, do your research, decide what looks interesting to you, and then plan accordingly. But definitely you want to check that out. I didn't mention some things that you could do along the way. How early you start your day, that's really up to you. Obviously, you're going to get more done if you wake up a little earlier and you head out on your little jaunts. Depending on the time of year, you may want to go ahead and plan in some pool time on one of these days in the morning or so forth. Most pools do not stay open much past sundown, so keep that in mind. There are a ton of things you can do in Las Vegas that are not on the Strip or not downtown, but I don't necessarily recommend chasing those particular adventures on your very first trip, or if you haven't been in a while and you haven't seen what things look like. Again, hopefully you're going to really enjoy your Las Vegas experience. I think you will. And if so, you're going to want to come back, and you will come back. And when you do, you'll have a chance to check out some of those outlying attractions and so forth. And maybe we'll talk about those again one day soon. So that's going to pretty much wrap up our show. Show you the eye. Still pretty red. It's definitely a lot better. Feel very lucky that I didn't do more damage than I did. Next week, we'll do the show shades free, but people seem to like the glasses. $20 at Walmart. Go right over your regular prescription lenses. All right, so hopefully we'll see you all on Wednesday. We will be back again next Saturday with another episode of Vegas Weekly. Until then, I hope that you have a great, lucky, and safe week. We'll see you soon.